Alors, okay, welcome everyone to tonight's conference. Today we are going to be discussing useful vocabulary to talk about health issues. Okay, so the title is A Doctor's Appointment. So before we begin, there's just some administration. So we are going to have 25 minutes of me presenting the conference. And for the last 5 minutes, we will have a Q&A, so a question and answer. So tonight's conference is presented by Le Cercle des Langues. If you have any questions or comments, you can either put it into the chat or you can write it aside on a piece of paper and you can ask me in the last 5 minutes. The idea behind the conference is to learn some new vocabulary and to be able to use that in our everyday lives. So you will be sent the document after the conference. It will be sent to you via email. So thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight's level is A1 to A2. So let's begin. In today's conference, we will be discussing how to discuss health problems with your doctor. And we will cover 3 major topics. We are going to talk about introducing oneself and making an appointment and the useful vocabulary for this. We will be talking about describing common health issues and their translation in French. We will also be talking about what happens during a doctor's visit. So that's the most
T'es
important
chez
thing.
toi ce soir?
Ah, excusez-moi, je pense pas tout le monde est muet. Donnez-moi 2 secondes. Okay, alors, so let's begin. So let's consider the importance of assertive communication when scheduling an appointment. Speaking with a doctor and asking the right questions linked to medical procedures. So, assertive communication just speaks about when we are in a situation that we speak with clarity and being able to speak about what the problem is and asking certain questions. Many times we are scared to ask certain questions. So that's why we need to look at how to do that. So let's have a look at our first topic, introducing oneself and making an appointment. So when we introduce ourselves, we start with hello or hi. Hello, my name is Chanel. Nice to meet you. We often then provide our personal information. For example, I'm such and such, my name, and I am this many years old. I live at such and such an address. And oftentimes we give our medical history. We can give them the problem, but to start with, this is important information because it shows the politeness. And we always begin a conversation with a greeting. So when we talk about providing personal information, the personal information that we provide is my contact number, so mon numéro de téléphone. And what is our reason for the visit? We often say, I'm scheduling an appointment because I've been experiencing a cough, a sore chest, my arm is sore. Or we could say, I'd like to discuss some health concerns with the doctor. So as you can see, I'd like, it is the word of politeness, c'est la politesse. And I'm scheduling or I have scheduled an appointment. J'ai prévu un rendez-vous or j'ai pris un rendez-vous parce que je souffre de, and adding your problems. When it comes to requesting an appointment, it is good to use phrases such as, I would like to schedule an appointment with doctor and give his name. Can I make an appointment to see the doctor? Remember, there are many phrases that you can use when you ask to schedule an appointment, but the most important is that we use would like to, because it is the sign of politeness. can I is also acceptable, mais en français, puis-je is more, may I make an appointment? Est-ce que j'ai puis? So, can I make an appointment? I would like to make an appointment. Could I have an appointment? All of that is the conditional, and it speaks to the politeness. When we are speaking about availability, what are the available time slots for appointments? And do you have any openings on this specific day? So, as I said, there are more sentences that you can use, but the idea is that you are asking for a good time slot for your appointment with the doctor. Oh, excusez-moi. So, flexible timing. When we are making an appointment, sometimes we can let the doctor know that we are flexible by saying, I'm flexible. Any available slot would work for me. It's a beautiful sentence to use. I can come in at any time during the week. So the word come in tells us that you are able to visit the doctor. It is a phrase in English. It is a phrasal verb. It's a little phrase that says come in, je peux rentrer ou je peux venir. So we can use that when we talk about going to the doctor's office. Emergency. Whether it is an emergency or not, we can express that by saying, it's not an emergency, but I would like to see the doctor soon. In this case, replacing would like with need is more urgent. C'est exactement pareil en français quand on dit je voudrais ou j'ai besoin. So it expresses two sides of two different urgencies. So one is more urgent than the other because when you are going to the doctor, it is serious. So, ce n'est pas une urgence, mais j'aimerais voir le médecin rapidement. Dans ce cas, remplace aimerait par besoin et plus urgent. C'est plus urgent. To confirm your appointment, you have two phrases we could use. We could say, can you confirm the date and time of the appointment? Or could you please send me a confirmation for the appointment? We can see that in France, a lot of the appointments are made on Dr. Lieb. In that case, you will receive your confirmation. You can also ask her to repeat the information. So, est-ce que vous pouvez répéter? Could you please repeat the information? I would like to write it down, or I would like to make a note of what you have said. Rescheduling or canceling the appointment. What should I do if I need to reschedule or cancel an appointment? It's a question that you can ask. Or is there a cancellation policy I should be aware of? The second sentence is to be polite. So to ask if I need to reschedule, because sometimes you will have to pay even for that appointment. So I know in certain countries, when you cancel an appointment, you have to pay for not coming, especially if you cancel the appointment, I think it's 24 hours or less before your scheduled appointment. Okay, so we have just covered useful phrases that you can use to speak to a doctor, to make an appointment. As I said, there are many other phrases that you can use. But these are important because we use the word could, we use the word would, we use the word may. Those verbs show politeness, and that is very important. In our next section, we are going to be describing common health issues that we can experience or that we can hear from others experiencing. So, for example, a headache. So, mal à la tête. I've been experiencing frequent headaches. That shows that you have been having a lot or many headaches. I have a fever. J'ai une fièvre. I have a fever and I don't feel well. We have a cough. So this word, we need to pay attention to the cough, the GH sound. So in English, sometimes that sound is silent, for example, with through or though, but with cough, it sounds like an F. So I've had a persistent cough for the past few days. Sore throat, so mal à la gorge. My throat is sore. I have a sore throat and it's bothering me. It's been bothering me for a while. Between French and English, we have the difference with mal, au dos, or à la tête, whereas in English we use the word ache. So we can see in the first word, A-C-H-E, sometimes we pronounce it H, but it is actually like a K. So I have a headache, or I have a fever, or I have a sore throat. I have an ache in my leg. Fatigue. En français, on dit fatigué or fatigue. In English, we say I am tired. So there is a difference. I can say moi je suis fatigué, but I have fatigue. So in English, we use different words. We say in English, I am tired, but I am suffering from fatigue. I've been feeling extremely fatigued or lethargic. Stomach ache. As we saw before, I have been having frequent stomach aches and discomfort. Nausea. I have been experiencing nausea, especially after meals. I have joint pain. So joint, c'est le parti là. I have been having joint pain and it's affecting my mobility. Mobility is our ability to move around. Allergies. I've noticed some allergy symptoms like sneezing and itching. I also have back pain. I've been struggling with persistent back pain. So we can say backache, you can say back pain. Le deux, those two are acceptable in English. So if you say I have backache and back pain, it is the same thing. C'est la même chose. Now I want us to learn how to express the severity of our pain. So if you look at the diagram on the right-hand side over here, it is showing us generally from 0 to 10. So we start with no pain. Mild, c'est légère. Moderate, un peu plus sérieux que légère. Severe, a lot more serious. Worst, c'est extrêmement douloureuse. So you have to choose entre le 5. So when we say that pain is mild, but it's consistent, we can say that pain is moderate. So that means the discomfort is moderate and it's affecting my daily activities. The pain is severe. When the pain is severe and I am finding it hard to cope, and the pain is the worst, it's the worst pain I have experienced. Worst, c'est un superlative. So remember that it's a superlative and it shows the highest degree of pain that something can be. So the worst will be the highest, mild will be the lowest. So all of that, those are common problems, health problems that we can have. Remember, there are a lot more. But I think the most important thing to learn is when we talk about pain and when we talk about something that is aching or that we have an ache, and when we speak about different symptoms, whether they are mild or whether they are worse or really serious. For the next section, we are going to be talking about what happens during the doctor's visit. So, during the doctor's visit, here is some general information about visiting a doctor in another country, along with some common expressions. Okay? So, voici quelques informations générales sur la visite d'un médecin dans un autre pays, ainsi que quelques expressions courantes. So, describing symptoms. You explain your symptoms clearly to the doctor. And how do we do that? We can do that by using the phrase, I've been experiencing persistent headaches and dizziness. Okay? It does not have to be a headache or dizziness, it can be something else. But I have been experiencing. That is the key part of your phrase. Answering questions. We need to be prepared to answer any questions in English. For example, what is the history in your family? So the medical history. I can say, yes, I have a family history of heart disease. I have a family history of back pain. So we need to be ready to discuss our family history. We also need to be ready to receive advice. For example, when the doctor tells us this is what you need to do, we have vocabulary such as the dosage, the medication, ordonnance, which is the script in English. It is called a script. Je vais mettre au chat pour vous, comme ça vous pouvez voir. Certain vocabulary items that are not there. We talk about a script. In English, c'est une ordonnance. Okay? When we talk about family history, they talk about what are the different kinds of diseases or complications that your family could have had. And we can then respond to the doctor and say, I appreciate your advice on managing stress, on the flu. There are many different words we could use. Okay, so we also have something called a follow-up appointment. A follow-up appointment is something that will come afterwards to check if you are healed. And you are allowed to schedule any follow-up appointments with the doctor. But it's also important that we understand the next steps. So what can we say when we talk about understanding the next steps? We can say, sorry, I did not understand the next step. Could you please clarify? So we can obviously ask the doctor if we need him to explain anything further. And we can also speak to the doctor if we need him to repeat information. Est-ce que vous pouvez répéter? Can you please repeat the information? If you would like to express concerns, as we said before, you can say, I have persistent chest pain. Can we explore the cause, please? Or could it be more than normal tiredness? So these are kinds of things that you would hear the doctor talking about. He is going to talk about your symptoms. He is going to talk about your family history. He is going to ask you questions about where your pain is. So a useful tip would be, if we are not comfortable in English, what we can do is we could write down everything before our appointment so that it makes it easier to express how we are feeling at that moment. So some common phrases that people with different symptoms can use. My sudden appetite change concerns me. So the word that we are looking at is the word concerns, because concerns show that there is a problem. There is something that is worrying you. My sudden appetite change concerns me. Could it be a health issue? Should I be concerned about? And you can add what that is. Trouble sleeping affects me daily. Do you have any advice? So the verbs we can see there, to be concerned and affects. So something that has an effect on you. The diagnosis and the medicine. What is the diagnosis or the likely cause of my symptoms? That is a useful question to ask the doctor so that he can be clear about what is wrong with you. What are the treatment options available? And are there any potential side effects or risks associated with the medicine? Very important to know if there are any side effects. So that brings us to the end of the conference. And as I said, this is just useful sentences and phrases and vocabulary that you can use when trying to reserve an appointment with your doctor. If you would like to learn a little bit more about the parts of the human body, le partie du corps, we have 2 e-learning modules. So there's an A1 and an A2 e-learning module. And we've also got an article from le Cercle des Langues blog, le meilleur guide du vocabulaire médical anglais. Découvrez le vocabulaire de corps humains et en anglais. So these can be very helpful to help you isolate or choose the part of your body that is maybe causing some concern before you go to the appointment. So thank you so much for watching the conference with me tonight. You will be sent the conference at the end of the conference tonight. You will be sent via email. So I would like to ask you, do you have any questions or do you have any comments to make? You can either put them in the chat or you can unmute your microphones now. Non, c'était tout clair? Ah, Janceline, est-ce que c'était trop vite aujourd'hui? Désolée. Donc, so much information, oui, il y avait beaucoup d'informations. But what we can do, Janceline, for tonight, because these were just helpful sentences, what you can do is, there is a recording of the conference that will be available on the site and on YouTube. You can listen to it again. And because of all the information, you will receive the conference after the class and you will be able to read it and look at the French translation that is below it to help you better understand the vocabulary. Okay, so that can be a helpful tip. And if, like I said, if not, there is the video that is available on YouTube. Do we have any other questions or comments? Sylvie, pour vous, et c'était bien?
It was very good, yes. Just one question. Where can I find the last thing that you show us, where we can find every word in English?
So it's on the platform. So let me...
On the platform, okay.
On the platform. You can find
this one, yes.
On the platform. And when we send you the conference via email, you can actually just tap on the link. Can you see there's a hyperlink? So si j'ai tape comme ça, it's actually been hyperlinked into the presentation. So you can follow it directly from the presentation. Okay?
Okay.
So, are there any other questions or comments? Bon, so as I said, Janceline, je suis désolée que c'était un peu vite. I think you can just have a look at all the definitions in French that are just below the English and it could help you a little better. But thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful evening and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.